Hello everyone, this is LW Gaming and welcome to a brand new kind of video I would like to talk about here. So this one is going to be me covering the heroes that I would recommend to those who are starting the game. So yeah, believe it or not, even though as the year 2025, like which is like this game has been out for like 6 years at this point, like more than 6 years. Believe it or not, new players are still coming to this game, which I've been quite surprised and also welcome them. Anyways, there are seven heroes. Well, I would say top seven. I would say, the most recommended heroes that you should pick on this banner, like the limited time one, which is exclusive to new players, to be exact. The reason I was able to access this banner is because I created a new account. Yep, for the sole purpose of like seeing what's new every year. I would say so like I mean most of all it might not it might not change it much, but however over the past few years, Zilong have been finding ways to improve the beginners banners to be exact. So I remember the introduction of like them like doing something like this, like where you can choose like a card pool based on the factions. Like this one has been here for like I think 2 or 3 years by now, but anyways, this is a nice addition, but however, there is another wave of this in the later level ups. But this is not what I'm talking about in the video. In this video, I'm going to talk about the top seven heroes. Yeah, I would recommend for you to get if you think about getting certain characters. Because I gotta say, the list here, there are 16 heroes you can choose from. There are some that are pretty good, while some are like questionable. So anyways, I'm gonna throw some things out of the way before I begin. So first off, Christian, this character, although in the past I do like Christian as a tank, but here's the thing: she is not recommended for beginners, sadly, because she has no princess faction buff in the the 2C cost. Like she doesn't have that, and the faction buff goes on her 3C only, which you can only access it in the late game, which is not ideal for beginners. So if you want to pick a tank, pick someone else other than Christian. That's all I'm saying. Ledin, you can easily get him through the hero bag, but if you don't feel like if you don't feel like getting him from the hero bag, this is also an option you can go for. But I don't recommend because Ledin. I mean, in the beginning, Ledin is okay as a tank, but however, as the game goes on, you're probably gonna need to slot in someone that can do more than just like close range counter because Lennon doesn't do range counter. By the way, so anyways, I'm going to switch over to my main account, so I'll give you all a rundown of what characters you should pull for, like the top seven, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back on my main account now, and as you can see, I have a lot of heroes on my roster. Don't panic because I'm only showing a few here. So number seven I have on my list is Rozalia. Rozalia, even though she's a nice unit to have, but she is I would say not really the best hero per se, but it's just that this is worth mentioning. I mean, originally I'm thinking about making this video as a top five heroes you can choose from, but since there are actually way more than I can anticipate, I decided you know what, maybe I should expand it to top seven. So, anyways, Rozalia takes the seventh spot on the recommended heroes for beginners for a couple of reasons. Like one, she's long mobility, like high mobility, like 5 blocks on both classes. She comes with cavalry and the Holy class, and the most recommended class for her is Holy because it negates most of the class disadvantages while retaining the mobility. Like she's unique per se. Like I think she's the only hero that we have that has 5 mobility as a DPS unit. Although aside from Tiaras, because she's a healer on her own, which we'll talk about later because she is on the list, by the way. So Rosalia, she is an excellent unit to pick up if you think about getting her because she does console with two different at again abilities. Like she has this one right here, which will I think you get this one first, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see. I had to rampage you through this. Actually, you will get either one of these two first, depending on which one you want to go for. If you want to want to have like a consistent like act against for yourself, go for Chivalry, because this one always guarantee act again over the other one, because the other one also does act again, but under a certain condition. As you can see here, let's see, where does it say? Okay, so yeah, as long as you have faith on here, let's see how to get that one. Okay, so you had to be within one block of that sword that you place down. So yeah, as long as you're within that range, you can pretty much act again. But however, do not put it too far off because you won't be able to act again. So yeah, this one works too. But yeah, if you really want to have like a full advantage of this sword, I would say go for Holly first. Yeah, just had to give me a few seconds to read what that skill does because it's been a long time I haven't used Rozalia. But I'm not saying she's a bad hero per se. She's a good addition for your roster if you need like a long leg attackers. Like she is one of the seven you can choose from. And then on the sixth spot we have Hilda. Let's see where's Hilda. If I can find her, she is somewhere. No, she's not even below that amount of stars. She's up here somewhere. There you are. There you are. Hilda is another excellent unit to have because she is a tank. You know, later in the story, you're gonna need someone that can help you protect your very important units. Like Hilda is excellent at all fronts for defense, of course, mostly. And she comes in two different classes. Like she has Lancer and Cavalry. And yeah, anyways, you can choose Cavalry and allow her to move much further than Grenier, and while still providing the guard, which is nice to have, and also with the reflective damage thing as well, and also she's one of the units that you can reflect damage, or I should say counter damage, if you have this skill here, which I think you obtained this at the let's see. I think at the later class. Let me see which one was it. Was it this one or the other one? Okay, it was at the later class. So once you reach like I would say, don't remember the exact amount of levels that you need for this, but later on you eventually get this one, which will allow you to distant counter. But overall, she's a nice tank to have, at least better than Ledin, and also she herself as a Tensei faction buff, which will help her out a lot. So if you ever want a tank, Hilda is the go-to unit to go for. And then on number 5, we have two units that are on here that are kind of tight. I couldn't settle on one of those two, so I decided to put them both on the same tier. So on number 5, I have Leon, like right here. Leon, he's a beast out there. Like he's like the next level of I would say power creep per se, but I mean of course this is the this is the SP version, the initial Leon. That's what I wanted to talk about here. So the initial Leon right here is gonna give you like a nice boost for your for Leon's abilities. So like the further you move, this one like Leon is really dependent on how much you move. So depending on how far you move, your damage will increase by a certain amount, and then also increases your defense by 20%, which is also good. So after you attack, you will move 3 blocks away, like which will make them really nice. And this can be applied to his SP, but don't mention about like do not worry about SP because you don't get that in the beginning, as far as I know. And yeah, anyways, this is Leon. That's one of the options. The other fifth place unit is Helena. If I can get out of here really quick. Yep, get out of here. The other fifth place unit is Helena. If I can find her, yep, right here. Anyways, my interface is getting laggy because of how many heroes I have right now. Ridiculous. Anyways, the other hero, like I mentioned earlier, she's another great unit. She does have the same principle as Leon, but hers relies on higher mobility. Like what I mean by that is that she has like a thing like wherever block you move, she's gonna create those crystal tiles, and those tiles allows her to move into those tiles without using the actual movement consumption. So what I mean by that is that the more tiles that you place on this one, you can see how Helena will zoom across the map. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, she is crazy strong. Like the reason why I put them both together is because they both are strong in their own ways. Like Leon, he is capable of like be like pretty hard on his own as well as SP access if you want to get him in the future. Helena is another unit that you can go for high mobility movement, which is pretty nuts on its own. And also her exclusive, which I think you get it later as well. Her exclusive capitalizes her ability even further. And by the way, most heroes that I'm gonna list here, I mean I say all of them that I have listed here have their exclusive already, and each of them serve different purposes. So later on in the game as you play, you'll have to get your hands on one of these eventually because these ones are pretty good. I think Helena is the best one to get when it comes to mobility and also, they're casting as well, which you can tackle later. So yeah, what do I think? Which one should I recommend for you to get for the fifth place? I'll say it's based on your preference because Helena is excellent on mobility at all fronts. Like she can move anywhere pretty much. That as long as she has crystals deployed anywhere on the map, like she will move really far with this kind of with this kind of thing. And Leon does have SP, and he can be pretty broken in some ways. And then I believe on number 4, I have Lighter Genesis as the number 4 choice. If I can hurry up, there she is. She's right here. The reason why I put her on number 4 is because she is, despite her being like a 2 range attacker, in fact her talent enables her to be able to extend her attack range. I believe. Let's see. Yeah, increases her attack range by a certain amount. Like especially like if she has 2 stacks of her majestic light, her attack range will be increased by 1 tile. So this will be stacked up to 4 times, but one of her exclusive is gonna enable her to stack it up one more time, which is pretty awesome. Which means that she'll be able to hit harder but still retain the four block attack range. And also, she does have a casting which will completely improve her capabilities as well, you can get later on in the game. Anyways, I couldn't recommend anything else besides Life Genesis because she's an awesome unit to have. Like she comes with teleport, which will help you out moving your units around the board. Like if you need them in certain places, Life Genesis is the unit that can do that. I mean, of course, Jessica can do it too, but Life Genesis does better, as far as I know, because as you unlock her 3C, which will be later, she will be able to act again after using an assist skill. And by the way, teleport is considered assist skill. So yeah, you can have this trick like you can either teleport your teammate or your ally to the position where you want them to be, and then as long as you're standing nearby an ally, she'll perform act again. Like, but if you have a casting, you can be able to do that within like 2 blocks of an ally. Yeah, she's pretty nuts. And then if you want another kind of unit that is probably gonna fit for your evil deeds, I would say like AOE. Another unit I can think of is Bozo. Bozo is also on the list, I believe. If I can find Bozo on here, he is somewhere on my list. I don't know. I have no clue where he is at the moment. Oh, there he is. Okay, I thought he was 6 stars for me, but nope, he's not. Anyways, Bozo is another good unit to have for your team. Although sure, he is the antagonist of Langrisser Mobile, but anyways, throughout the Langrisser series, I mean, anyways, even though he is evil, he can actually provide you a lot of good support. Like he comes with a nasty amount of AOE's, like such as Earthquake, which I don't think any other unit has it aside from a few of them. There's also Black Hole of course, some debuffs. And also his own signature 3C, which is basically an AoE attack around him, and they could be nasty as well. And also he does have a passive like this one. There's like, do you have a 50-50 chance of like sealing off the enemy's active skills? This is pretty useful in most scenarios. Like basically, if your enemies are like kept destroying you with skills, Bozo is just gonna shut them down with that. So yeah, if you have Bozo on your team, consider yourself blessed. Although the good news is you don't really need to pull for Bozo because for beginners there's a secret run event exclusive to them where they can earn themselves a free Bozo if you choose to, which is quite nice. So yeah, you don't really need to summon for this guy because he will be given out for free in the beginner exclusive event. So yeah, the reason why I put Bozo like as a secondary option is because in case if you did miss the event, that's the other option you can go for. But other than that, Light Genesis is the go-to for fourth pick. And then on number 3, we have the units that can provide act against. The first one is Lyanna. If I can find Lyanna on the list, yep, there she is. I just scrolled past it. Anyways, Lyanna is an excellent unit for act against support. She has a lot of heals on here, of course, because she's a primary healer. And by during the time of the early years of Langrisser, Lyanna is the sole unit that can only perform that can do like act against for your allies. Yeah, she's essential for many players, and she still is to this day. And also, she is very viable in any modes. Like I'm not even kidding. She is awesome to have on your team if you didn't have her already. So, Lyanna is definitely a go-to choice for act again. But however, what if I told you there's actually another unit later on in the game where that also provide that support, which is Florentia. Although the reason why I put Florentia as a secondary option here is because Florentia do have act again, but you do need a certain condition to meet. So like for example, like of course she works best when she's under the influence of faction buffs, but that's not my point here. The point here is that as long as you equip the passive skill, which is like this one right here, she's gonna gain 1 token per enemy kill. So yeah, in order for her to provide act again, she'll need 5 tokens of this to initiate the act again. So yeah, in the beginning you probably don't want to summon for Florentia, but later down the road you might need her. But if you want act again, I will say Lyanna because hers is as consistent as you will want her to be. So yeah, Lyanna is the better option for act again, for at least for beginners friendly. And now for number 2, which are the healers, the 2 healers. The first one I'm gonna show here is Rozalia. Rozalia, she is meta in certain areas in PvP, but she's also great for PvE because of insane amount of healing and also dispelling power. Like Rozalia provides the debuff shield, so in case if you're fighting against someone that can like dish out some debuffs on you, Rozalia is for sure will protect you against that. So this which is excellent for your tank push time kind of team. I mean both for PvE and PvP. And another unit that kind of works similarly but not as strong as Rozalia, and that one is Tiaris. Coincidentally, it was right here. Tiaris is another unit you can grab here, and she is an excellent healer and of all around. Like she has high mobility, and also she does have like a thing called healing light, which will enables her to give allies like after combat healing, which is nice. But the drawback for this buff is that this does not activate until you really got hit by a single target. AoEs, no, it doesn't proc on that one. But she does provide like a support called Attack Blessing, which back in the day, this skill used to be exclusive to her. But now, Celica has this as well. And also there are other skills you can go with, like regular heal, mass heal, miracle. All these are excellent heals for her. And finally, on the number one spot, you probably know who exactly this character is. Like she is the unit that's unbeatable of like the choices of who you should pick at the begin for as a beginning or beginner unit. And that character is actually used to be my old favorites. And that character is none other than let's see, where are you? Yeah, you are. Lucretia. Yep, Lucretia is on that beginner banner. So yeah, this one no brainer. She is insane for new players. Like she comes with a thing where she summons a golem, and this will enable her to attack from 4 tiles. Like I'm not even kidding. And also she goes pretty well with the Scepter Affinity, which will allow her to attack from 5 blocks with a skill. Which yeah, if you think about this, she's a menace on the field. Like doesn't matter which team you're running, Lucretia is an excellent unit to have on your team. Like no questions asked. Like she is absolutely insane. But of course, as long as you keep the puppet safe, because if that puppet dies, then yeah, there goes half of her arsenal. So beware of that. So as long as you can keep that golem safe, Lucretia can pretty much like power prep everything. But and also there's one more thing to mention, like the honorable mention. Elwyn is another good option to have for beginners because he can literally carry everything in the content, at least for the first act, until like certain acts of the story where he's no longer viable. But of course, he does come with an SP, which will kind of help him out in PVE. But I remember back in the day, PvP, he used to be the go-to unit. But now, with many units now that have been added to the game, he's becoming less relevant. That's the reason why I didn't mention him on the list. But he is available as an honorable mention for you to choose from. So if you think about getting any of these beginner banners, if you're getting any of these units for beginner banners, I'll highly recommend you pull for them because especially to those who are starting out the game, your pity rate is actually quite generous. At the first SSR poll, you'll get one at 40 polls, second one at 70, and then finally on the third one it will be 100, and then from that point forward, it will always be 100. But of course, there's a good chance you might get a SSR hero earlier than 100. So yeah, it's based on your luck. So yeah, if you don't get it, then keep trying. But don't force yourself too much because you do not want to drain all your resources just for a specific hero, unless you really wanted that hero. Pro tip when it comes to summoning, if you're not sure if you can get that character, make sure you have the Trinity Crystal value of like 8,800. That's gonna guarantee one SSR. Well, in most cases though. So, anyways, I know that this video is actually longer than I expected, but anyways, hopefully this one gives you an idea of who you should pull. So what I recommend for what kind of units you should pull for. Owen's definitely one of them. Lucretia is another if you want like a long range attacks. That like she can literally outrange anybody. Like with at the beginning. Like I'm not even joking. Yeah, like I can't believe Zilong added this character as a beginner friendly unit. I was thinking, wow, they're gonna give beginners a good amount of choices here. So, yeah, like I said earlier, Lucretia and Elwyn are both excellent units to have. Rosensteel too, if you want an additional healer. So, anyways, hope you all find this video helpful, and I'll see you all next time.